Hello and welcome to Greenfaced. My name is Kefa Muiruri and I'd like to welcome you to my 3-part web series focusing on the subjects science, politics, and economics. On this episode, we explore the scientific principles governing the ban on plastic bags, but first, here's our news headlines. NASA moves ahead with its planned inauguration ceremony for its key principles, except some soaring temperatures in parts of northern Kenya towards the end of this month. And in sports, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang agrees to join Arsenal. For more of these headlines, stay tuned for our news beat coming up. On this episode, we will try to relate the use of plastic bags to climate change and try and find out why plastic bags are dangerous for the environment. Brian Kirui kicks us off with this report.
Endangering human health, suffocating animals, blocking drainage systems, and littering, the effects of using plastic bags have always been out there for all to see. In spite of the evidence backing the move to ban plastic bags, many still fail to understand the severity of the matter, although the majority are in agreement.
I think plastic bags were banned because they are not biodegradable.
These plastic bags have caused us harm than benefits.
I think plastic bags were banned because they cause very many hazardous effects to the environment.
I think they banned plastic bags because it's an environmental threat.
Ms. Kimathi, a lecturer at Daystar University, reinforces the need to ban the plastic bags.
These bags are not degradable. So if there was a paper that got into the soil or into the environment in the 80s, you're likely to find it there if you dig it up. So they find the paper bags or the plastic finds its way into our environment, whether in the garbage heaps or on the land, in the soil. So start right from home, where you find paper bags hanging on our fences, on our flower beds, on the farm. That in itself is pollution.
Just how severe is the use and effects of the plastic bags on the environment? Faith Mburu explains.
As the human population has been increasing, the environment has experienced some very many negative impacts over the period of time due to the human population increase. Apparently our increase and our development activities are directly affecting the environment, but negatively.
Despite the existence of conflicting views on the climate change, the severity of our actions on the environment cannot be ignored. It will, however, take the efforts of all of us to ensure our own survival and that of the environment. Reporting for Greenfaced, I am Brian Kirui.
So I'm now joined by Njoki Ngugi, an environmental conservationist expert and a student here at Daystar University. And first, Njoki, I'm sure you're well aware of the ban on plastic bags. And I assume being an environmentalist, you obviously liked the decision to ban plastic bags, but just talk us through how you felt.
It was overdue, but it was an amazing decision that Kenyan made, and I'm very proud of the steps that we're taking towards taking care of our environment.
I had a look at the NEMA press statement given and looked at some of the consequences given there of our use of plastic bags.
Yes.
And some of them are ridiculous. So how can you say like littering? I mean, is littering an issue on plastic bags or us as human beings?
It's actually on both, because if you do not give the human being something to litter, then there will be no littering at all. So it's a two-way traffic. We as human beings have to learn that littering is not a good practice, and it has its own consequences on the environment and on our yields and on the structure of how we live. But also we need to understand that whatever we litter, like, it has certain consequences. If you litter a banana peel, it's biodegradable, then it's going to have good consequences onto the soil. But if you litter a plastic bag, if you litter a plastic bottle, then you're just making it look untidy.
So you just mentioned plastic bottles. Why then leave plastic bottles and we go for the bags? Why don't have an overhaul ban on all plastic items then?
One thing is when you look at a plastic bottle, like it has the recycling and the reusing option. But for plastic bags, it was very rare, and plastic bags were just a norm. It will be very hard to find a person buying everyday soda for 70 shillings, like 3 times, or water for 100 bob. So it's easier to ban the plastic bags first, then go to find an alternative for plastic bottles.
So you're actually suggesting another ban?
Yes,
to come?
More bans to come.
I've looked at the replacement for plastic bags and noticed that they're actually hefty, they're big in size. And when I looked at one of the consequences of plastic bags is broken drainages, and I've seen those, they look actually like gunias. And I don't think they're any better to plastic bags. So how can you say on that?
Let me answer your question with a question. Do you throw away the gunias at home? They're always kept. They're always kept.
Especially when they're old.
When they're old, yes.
Do that.
They're always kept for future use. Like they can be reused again. So these big bags there's an option. You can buy the big bag, you can buy the small bag. So if you buy the big bag, then you're doing a lot of shopping. So you don't have to throw it because you'll only use it when you're going for shopping, which is like once a month or once in 3 weeks. So it's reusing. We're encouraging the fact of reusing things, and then when they get old, don't just throw them. Now that is where people need to learn. When they get old, use them for something else.
So you've mentioned on the concept of reusing and recycling. How about to teach people other than take away a whole industry of plastic bags? Because most plants who choose to manufacture plastic bags have had to close.
Yeah.
Then other than ban the plastic bags, how about to teach people how to recycle, how to reuse, how to use the alternatives without taking away what is already there?
It has been there. I was taught how to recycle and reuse back in primary school. So it's just our mentality that we don't want to accept it because it's the white kind of lifestyle. We do not want to accept it ourselves as Africans.
So changing our mentality and bringing back the plastic bags, is that a good thing?
No, that is a bad idea, a very bad idea.
Now moving on to the bigger picture, which is climate change. First, we confront the issue climate change. Is it a real issue?
Yes.
Okay. But I've seen scientists in certain communities come out and denounce what their counterparts are saying.
In certain communities, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you, scientists tend to be divided in a way. There are those who are going to please the people, and there are those who are going to state facts. They do not care what the comment will be. They do not care the feedback at all. So they will state it as it is, and that's.
So you are claiming this failing on your part as scientists?
Not all. It depends on what you really want. If you really want a change in the environment, then you're going to state the facts. You'll not lean towards the people just to suit them. So there is a fail in our part.
So a parting shot for someone watching out there, what would be your last words?
I'd say take care of the environment, and the environment will take care of you.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
That has been Joking Googie, and stay tuned for our hyper local report coming next after this break. Is climate change even a real phenomenon? Catherine and Co questions the realities of climate change on our hyper-local report.
Blue skies, it's amazing. There are no clouds. The plantation is green compared to other Januaries where the plantation is brown and it's too dusty. Today is a bit windy and the plantation is green. But let's look at climate change from a few people. Let's start with Lady Betty.
I believe climate change is real. Looking at how the environment looks right now, we have green plants, and this means that we had rain in the recent past. And by saying that, we mean we have now different seasons as to what we used to have when we were younger. We know rain would come in April, in August, and in January we would definitely have very, very hot weather. But nowadays anything happens anytime. It's very unpredictable, meaning that we have had climate change over time. So I believe it's real.
Oh, that's amazing. Childhood was amazing, especially the rainy seasons. We would play, in the rain. There were some, let's continue with Jojo.
I do believe it's real. Last year, I started following this page on Twitter, and they posted a video showing the time difference, the icebergs, how with time they have melted away. You can see the difference in the size, yeah? So I do believe it's real, yeah, because they showed time difference between the 1990s to, I think, 2016, yeah? And you can see there's a great change in the size of the icebergs. Yeah, it shows whatever we do here or anywhere else in the world affects somewhere as far as the North Pole. Yeah, I do believe it's real.
Wow. Icebergs. I should go back to books. Thank you for watching.
And what a show we've had today. It's to my hope that you've had a deeper understanding onto the impacts that plastic bags can inflict on our environment. Next week, we scrutinize the legislation behind the ban on plastic bags, but before we go, here's our last take. Did you know that global cooling could be worse than global warming? Why then should we go ahead and tackle global warming and risk the catastrophic effects of global cooling? Think about it.
This is the new